Hello everybody, Martin here, back with another vintage video. So with Eternal Weekend Europe fast approaching, I thought I'd give vintage a spin. Really looking forward to playing Sanctioned Vintage, which will be the first time for me. Um, and I will definitely be bringing this deck. So spoiler, if you end up running into me, you'll know what I'm playing. But there, so be it. It's probably not that likely. And it is Doomsday. So this is a deck I really enjoy. It's like such a cool deck. I wish it was playable in Legacy in the same manner. It's basically like a heavy combo control deck. We have like 13 pieces of disruption, which is pretty insane, like 11 counter spells and 2 discard spells. And we have a fairly compact win con with Doomsday and Laboratory Maniac. And once you build the Doomsday pile, or once you resolve Doomsday, you just build a pile that contains Laboratory Maniac, and then basically, like, the powerful cards in your deck, like, a lot of the time, like Black Lotus, Ancestral Recall, maybe a Gush. We also have the possibility of winning through Tendrils of Agony. You can build Tendrils into a Doomsday pile, but I think a lot of the time it'll be like with Fast Bond, just gushing away, eventually finding Tendrils, maybe resolving Yawgmoth's Will. So yeah, we're only running two of the Moxen because, like, as you will see, there aren't that many generic mana symbols in the cost of our spells. So running off color Moxen isn't really what we're in the market for. So yeah, that is the main deck. Just briefly, the sideboard. I'm trying another Magic Online Players transformational sideboard plan of Flash Hulk. And this is I had to get some people's help on Facebook to explain to me exactly how this works, because I've never played with Flash Hulk before. I wasn't playing Legacy when that was legal. So basically how this works is we need to have the card Flash in our hand and then Protein Hulk. And we then cast Flash, put in Protein Hulk. Flash says we get to cheat in a creature, but then we have to pay its mana cost or sacrifice it, reduced by 2 generic. So we do not do that. We sacrifice the Protein Hulk, and when that goes into the graveyard, we get to search up 6 converted mana cost worth of creatures and put them into play. So we find Karmic Guide and Carrion Feeder. So Karmic Guide enters the battlefield and then immediately has a trigger that returns a creature card from the graveyard to the battlefield. So we return Protein Hulk. So now we have a Protein Hulk in play, a Karmic Guide in play, and a Carrion Feeder in play. We then use Carrion Feeder's ability to sacrifice creatures, and we sacrifice the Protein Hulk. Again, we get a trigger and we search up Kiki Chiki. Kiki Chiki enters the battlefield, and we then activate Kiki Chiki, targeting our Karmic Guide. That creates a copy of Karmic Guide, which enters the battlefield and gets the Karmic Guide enters the battlefield trigger. In response, we sacrifice, we use Carrion Feeder to sacrifice the Kiki Chiki. He goes into the graveyard. The Karmic Guide trigger goes onto the stack, and we bring back Kiki Chiki. And we just repeat this process until we have an arbitrary amount of Karmic Guides that are all hasty due to Kiki Chiki and are flying. So it's pretty sweet. And Body Snatcher is there as sort of a safety measure in case one of your pieces, one of the creatures that you need to do this with, is in your hand. So let's say Flash and Hulk and then Kiki Chiki are in your hand. Well, you search up, you play the Hulk, sack it, search up Karmic Guide, search up Carrion Feeder. You then then you do the same thing. You sacrifice the Protein Hulk to the Carrion Feeder, and you bring in Body Snatcher. Body Snatcher enters the battlefield, and there's a trigger that says when it enters the battlefield, you must exile it or discard a creature card. So you choose to discard Kiki Chiki. So Kiki Chiki's in the graveyard now, and you have Karmic Guide and Carrion Feeder and Body Snatcher in play. Then you sacrifice the Body Snatcher to the Carrion Feeder, and Body Snatcher has another trigger that says when it dies, or this is old text that was said when it leaves the battlefield, you exile it and return a creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield, and you just before discard a Kiki-Jiki, so he's in the graveyard, so you bring him back. And this sideboard plan, the way I see it, is primarily there to be brought in against workshops. I could be wrong, but like any deck that wants to tax our mana, because it basically revolves around resolving 1 2-mana spell. Once this has been resolved, everything else is not a spell, so you're not taxed for doing any of this. And we have a lot of tutors in the deck. Like we have these 3 tutors that just plain get flash, and a lot of cantrips and draw spells to also find it. So it's should be pretty good. Also, like, it is not that likely that they will see it coming and will be boarding in like Graveyard Hate, but yeah, we are a Yawgmoth's Will deck, so it's not impossible. Alright, so the rest of the sideboard is, yeah, we have the Leyline of the Void for Dredge, primarily, and Engineered Explosives, which is just really nice against all the Sphere and Thorn effects, because you can cast it through, like, let's say your opponent has like Thalia and Thorn of Amethyst in play, you can still just pay 2 mana, make X 0, then pay 2 with 2 different colors, and then you get X being 2. Or like you get it with 2 counters on it, and you can take out both of those permanents for the same amount of mana that you would normally pay. So that's pretty cool. Ideally, I would like probably some bounce effects in the sideboard, like Chain of Vapor. It feels like really uncomfortable to leave home without it, but that is what the rest of like these 11 cards, the 2 Engineering Explosives and the Flash Hulk package, is kind of there for. To eschew the stuff that you need to bounce. But anyways, I'm gonna jump in and see if I can find an opponent. So match 1, playing Doomsday and Vintage. We have won the dice roll, and would definitely like to be on the play. Ooh, this is a nice hand. So we're gonna keep this, and I think like the correct thing will be to lead on Underground Sea into Thoughtseize. We could lead on Preordain, but that leaves us without a blue card to pitch to Force of Will, which I don't feel good about. And leading on Tropical Island into Fast Spawn just seems a little bit meh. So let's keep this. The reason I went all ooh is because like any hand with Fast Spawn is potentially insane. Fast Spawn is like one of my favorite cards in Vintage, and like one of the most insane times you can have. Alright, so we're up against workshops. Let's see here. There is okay, there's a workshop. There is a Revoker, there is a Thorn, there is a a Trike. Isn't that what the pros call it? A Ruby and Academy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What am I missing? Animation module. What the heck is this? Whenever 1 or more plus 1 counters are placed on permanent control, you may pay 1. If you do, create a servo token. And then tap this in 3. Choose a counter on target permanent or player. Get that permanent player another. Okay, so this is something to make like counter hijinks that can potentially work pretty well with Triskelion. Okay, so we need to take the Thorn animation module. We need to take the Thorn, and we need to think long and hard if we want to Force of Will the Revoker, which I don't think we want to. I think the preordain is worth more. It's very likely that they will just in the blind name Black Lotus, which will be actually be kind of annoying because we would ideally want Black Lotus. Oh, and there's a sphere. Okay, we're gonna force that. So now our hand is decidedly like less spectacular, but that is why we run the Force of Wills in the workshop matchup. So they're gonna play Revoker now, and they're gonna name Black Lotus would be my guess. Which is, I think, the default name in the dark from these workshop decks. Unless they are worried about like a Planeswalker maybe, but in the dark like this, I would. Okay, no, he names Black Dak Faden. Great. Okay, come on, Gush. Gush here is the nuttiest draw. Okay, we don't draw Gush. We draw a completely useless Flusterstorm. But we're just going to play the Fast Bond. I don't think they have a way to destroy it, and this way we have it in play. It doesn't get taxed. Okay, they drew a Sapphire, so now their hand is Trike and Academy, so they can play out the Trike. And yeah, so it enters the battlefield. It gets an extra. Oh no, they create the servo. Sure. Okay, we need to draw something here. We're looking at getting beaten down by a lot, but that is beautiful. So let's float some mana. Let's float a black mana and a blue mana, and let's cast Gush and hope to hit something. Okay, so we hit a Doomsday, but we cannot cast the Doomsday because we are going to be taking damage. Like, casting Doomsday now, we would drop to 7, and we would have to pass because we don't have another draw spell. And they have 7 worth of power on the ground, so I think I'm just going to pass. So that wasn't that exciting. Honestly, it's probably going to be hard winning with Doomsday because of or winning with, at least with Laboratory Maniac, because of the Triskelion. But we'll see. Hopefully they don't draw like a bomb. Okay, so now it gets like another counter, so it's a 5/5. And they create another servo dude and swing in for 8, I guess. And then they could shoot us for another 4, so that would be 12. So we have like 1 draw step. So not looking super great for us. Come on. Brainstorm is a very good start. And that is also pretty good. So we have to be kind of careful with our life total here. Oh no, what did I do? I put back 2 lands? That wasn't my intention. That was stupid. So I'm going to probe into Mark's Pearl. Damn. Well, we're completely locked here because they can shoot us with 4 counters. So yeah, that was very poorly played by me. I should have put back Flusterstorm and Doomsday, I think, and then just kept the Tropical. We would have been at 7. We play the Trop, play another land, go to 6, fetch, go to 5, and Time Walk, and see where that would have gotten us. We'd still be sort of in semi-rough spot. We could treasure cruise though, but alas, we lose. All right, so that was not ideal. Being on the play, I think we really need to win game 1 there. But let's bring in the Flash Hulk package and the engineered explosives. Need to remember everything here. Let's board out misdirection. Let's board out the mental missteps. Actually, you know what? I say I want to board out mental misstep, but if they're expecting, like, I've been Grafdigger's caged out of workshops before, and that would really suck. But having said that, misdirections are just so bad. So at least board out the Flusterstorm. Let's board out 2 misdirection. Let's board out a couple of the Doomsdays. We might want to board out all the Doomsday cards, but maybe not. If we can keep part of that combo in, that'd be decent. Maybe we can do without the fast bond shenanigans. We can shave a gush on that account. Yeah, I think I'm just going to go down to 1 mental misstep, because it is probably just a dead card, but... And we'll shave a probe. So we can still win. Maybe we needed to cut one of the... We have 3 win conditions now. Maybe that's too much, but yeah, we'll see. So let's be on the play. Well, this hand, unfortunately, is a mulligan, even though we have our 2-card combo. But we have no mana, so let's mulligan. Yeah, this works. There's a Sapphire. I think I'm going to be Doomsdaying on turn 1 here. Yeah, so we can just, well, top or bottom, doesn't matter. Yeah, Doomsday on turn 1, pass the turn with Force of Will back up. Hope that that's enough. We didn't show our opponent Doomsday, so they don't know what we're playing. Alright, so we're going to draw our second, or we're going to play a second land. Let's put Ancestral Recall in there, Black Lotus. Where are you? Laboratory Maniac, where'd you go? There we go. And then, like, Gush and Gataxian Probe, probably? Or I guess that Probe doesn't really matter. Maybe Brainstorm. So let's see, we draw the first card, that's Recall. We recall into Lotus, Labman, and Gush. No, we want to recall into Brainstorm. Yeah, actually, like, they can mess this up for us if they have a turn 1 Wasteland, the way I'm figuring it out. So let's say we recall into Lotus, Labman, Probe, and then have another Probe at the bottom. That's probably safer. So let's not have a Gush, but have... Oh no, wait, I have the second Probe in hand. Oh, that sucks. Alright, let's just see if we can make this, if we can play around them having the Wasteland. So we recall into... Draw recall, 4 cards left. Lotus, Labman, we need those 2. Then what? I mean, it still might be enough just to get another draw step. So let's make it like, let's make it Gush and Probe. And then, like, if they do have Wasteland, they can't kill the Labman or kill us before we get our next turn. So yeah, let's do like this. So we'll put Probe at the bottom, then Gush, then Lotus, Labman, Recall. Pass the turn. Alright. I wonder if there was like a safer way to do that, or a way to play around them having Wasteland. I didn't see it, like, so let me know if you saw it. Hope they don't have, like, randomly have Surgical Extraction. That'd be kind of bad. That would necessitate Force, probably. And they kept 7, so they for sure have some way to interact with us on turn 1. I mean, I by no means consider this as like a guaranteed win. If they have a workshop hand, basically, if they're able to drop 2 pieces of disruption, we lose. Uh, we very likely lose at least. Let's put it that way. Not sure our opponent is pausing here on our beginning of combat, but maybe they were just like ran to the bathroom while I was resolving Doomsday. It's very possible. Okay, here we go. And they did have the Wasteland. That's aggravating. Okay. Okay, Annihilation module, sure. Okay, nothing else. This doesn't kill dudes. Permanent you control. Yeah, no, that's fine. Alright, so basically what we do here is just play the land and pass. That way we can recall at end of turn. And then we can force pitch the gush if we need to force, and then still have probe. Or actually, maybe can we just win here because we didn't need to force, so we can recall now. Yeah, I think we can do that actually. Actually, let's start by probing, see if they have something we need to be playing around. No. So, we're good. So let's recall, draw the last 3 cards in our library, play Lotus, play Labman, and probe for the win. Sweet. Okay. And we didn't even have to reveal the flash combo. Alright, well, let's, I don't think we changed anything being on the draw play. Fairly happy with the setup here. Maybe we don't want the tendrils, though. The tendrils kill, that seems like the hardest thing to resolve, like to get a storm count going. Unless we just get like an insane hand, but then when we just win with Doomsday. So if we dump the tendrils, what would we want? Do we then want Yawgmoth's Will? It seems crazy to board that out. Not sure. Probably we still want to be able to just value Yawgmoth's Will. Actually, let's keep the tendrils. You never know. Alright, well, we have the force and the singleton mental misstep to pitch to it. And we get our draw step, so I don't mind that. This is fine. It's not great, though. We're not really doing anything. There's a workshop. Sol Ring. Huh. What do you know? The problem is here, if they drop like a sphere effect, we need to pitch force or force pitching time walk, and then we really don't have anything. But they don't. So what was their play? Could have been like a golem because they had the mana to cast that off the Moxen. We could play out the feeder. That doesn't seem worth doing. Let's just pass. With force up, and I guess next turn we could go like time walk. And then if we draw another land, we could like Merchant Scroll for recall. That's not bad. But we might need to force now, pitching one of those 2 cards. If we do, I think we pitch the time walk. Wasteland, alright. Do we care about Triskelion? Well, so the thing is, Triskelion actually stops our like carry-on feeder Flash Hulk thing, and it also kind of puts a wrench in the what's it called? The Doomsday with Labman kill. So I think I'm actually going to counter this. It's also their only pressure. Cast, choose this. Okay, my computer seems to be bugging out on me. It's usually a sign that Magic Online is needing to be rebooted. Okay, no. So we're gonna exile the Time Walk. So next turn we could Merchant Scroll for Gush just to protect ourselves against the Wasteland. Let's see what we draw. Demonic Tutor. That's pretty sweet. Too bad we sided out Fast Bond. So what we could also do is we could like Merchant Scroll for Flash and then Demonic Tutor for Protein Hulk. But we need another land for that. And the thing is, if we fetch here, they're going to Wasteland us next turn. That is very tempting, though. They obviously don't have like another. They don't have a sphere effect right now, or they would have played that over the Triskelion, or even played a turn one with the Soul Ring, turn with Moxes and Workshops. So, how do we do this? We could like Dark Ritual, that gives us the 4 mana and lets us cast both the Demonic Tutor and the Merchant Scroll, but that doesn't really save us. Like, we still need land. We need a land to survive for next turn. And if we cast Merchant Scroll, we're kind of giving away what we're up to. Is there anywhere else we can sort of exploit this this Dark Ritual? We could like go demonic Dark Ritual, 4 mana Demonic Tutor, get Lotus. Have 2 mana floating, then 5 mana with the Lotus Merchant Scroll for Ancestral Recall. It's just like a value play. Yeah, no, let's pass and save our land. And hope they don't like drop a sphere. Tangle Wire, okay. That is not the best for us. And a sphere, geez, okay. Alright, I think I'm gonna fetch out Basic Island here. And I think I'm just gonna let them, I'm gonna tap out here. Sadly, I have to tap both cards, and they can then Wasteland our Misty Rainforest, but that's just the way it has to be. And hopefully they don't also have Strip Mine. And next turn we're going to Brainstorm in response to the Tangle Wire trigger. Or I guess we can't because of Thorn. if they would choose to wasteland us. Oh, brutal. Okay, well, this looks like a pretty much like a lost cause. Wait, why aren't they why aren't they using their strip mine? So if we fetch here and get a land and brainstorm, then we're pretty much like we're resigned to lose both lands, and that means like there's a land less to draw naturally. But I still think we want to do that to be doing something with our mana here. It's pretty crappy though. Okay, so they strip mine the island, which makes sense. They don't want us to be able to gush. Man, if we only got like Merchant Scroll for gush on that turn, right? Let's get a tropical island, which is actually a land we don't need. Well, I mean, it doesn't produce black mana. Let's put back the carry-on feeder, and Scalding Tarn will draw the Tarn. And wow, that was really rough for us. Another sphere. Okay, well, guess we need to be drawing into those engineered explosives. Let's fetch here. Let's get Underground Sea and pass. I guess they're not using the wasteland because they're worried that we have like a gush. So actually, no, stupid. Oh, that's so bad. We should. I passed priority basically, so now I can't tap these for mana. I should dig like duck through time, I guess is the word. We luck sack it and draw another land though. So we'll be able to dig through time next. Actually, no, never mind, because they have two sphere effects. Well, if they don't wasteland us, we'll be able to do that. Not sure why they aren't using that wasteland now. Well, before, when I was tapped out. Another wasteland. Rough stuff. Okay, so now they decide to go for it. Fair enough. So we can't dig through time. We have to tap the last counter on the Tangle Wire. There's a Vampiric Tutor that we can't cast. Yeah, this is looking pretty grim for us. I think they are drawing way hotter than we are. Yes, of course, the third wasteland. Lotus that we can't cast. Yeah, well, that's how it goes, I guess. Again, why didn't they wasteland me there? We're just being allowed the lands here? Alright. So we could go Lotus, tap 2, cast Lotus, tap 3, vamp for engineered explosives. Or we could dig through time in response to them wastelanding us, which I actually like more. Third sphere, and we're just okay. Tangle Wire. It's not the best. Let's do this. Dig through time. It's nice that you can dredge, or not dredge, delve through the sphere effects. Well, there's a protein Hulk and a land. I guess that's what we take. Protein Hulk, underground sea. And we get to tap everything. So how many lands do we have left? We have 2 underground seas and a tropical. So next turn, well, let's discard. Let's actually discard Merchant Scroll. So if they do not wasteland us again here, we can, in response to the Tangle Wire trigger, we can Vampiric Tutor for Flash. And then we can actually win on the next, like, well, Steel Overseer. Okay, that just makes other artifact creatures stronger. Another one. Okay, well, that can put a pretty quick clock on us. But now we get to do this. Okay, it's the last card. So we drop to 11. Where is it? Flash. There you go. Basically, have to hope they don't wasteland us here. Which I would totally do if I were them. Like I would have snapped off that wasteland a long time ago. Yeah, bummer. Okay, Trinispheres. Yeah. And they forget to attack. Sure. Now, if we had one more land, we could be casting the Flash. But we don't, so we have to tap. There's Karmic Guide. So we really don't, we can't afford to draw another one of our creatures. Man, this is tough. So next turn they, okay, so maybe that's, sorry, I was being foolish saying that they forgot to attack. I guess that's not the case. They just want to pump. Yeah, I think we're just dead because, let's see, in the grave or in exile we have a trop, an underground sea, and an island. And we have the second trop in play. We have every land, so I don't see us. There's no. The only way we would stand a chance would be to. So let's see. We could pay 2 to cast the Lotus if we top deck an engineered explosives here. No, but that would cost 3, so never mind. Yeah, we can't even like Dark Ritual because Dark Ritual costs 3. Oh, so close, yet so far away. Uh, yeah, that was it for our hero. Like, every bit of their interruption sort of just got to us. The tangle wire and the spheres. Like, if the tangle wire wasn't there, we would have won. Uh, Lotus would make this 4 mana and 4 mana cast us flash, but alright, there you go. We have, well, we can play the Lotus. Oh, I know we can't even do that. Never mind. I'm also I'm being nonsensical here. The Trinisphere just made like shut us down completely. So GG's, well played to our opponent, and there you go.